I want to ask you a question. If the government were to declare an executive order telling you to turn in your silver, would you? Some would say, that would never happen, but what if I told you this already did happen? Executive Order 6184, declared by FDR a year after he declared the infamous Executive Order 6102, saying that you have to turn in your gold, which is now owned by the Federal Reserve, or pay a $10,000 fine, 10 years imprisonment, or both. So the question is, if a president has already confiscated the people's silver and gold, then what's the likelihood of this happening again? Arguing this would never happen again would be extremely foolish, to say the least. Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. If you are new, welcome. I post daily silver stacking videos, always giving you the inside scoop of the latest, most recent information in the world of precious metals. I was working on my book last night, and yes, it is a silver stacking book. Hopefully will be published early 2024, but as I was doing some research, I came across something very interesting. If you watch my channel, you've probably heard me explain and break down what the Executive Order 6102 by FDR was, which he declared in 1933, which here is the picture of this order. But this video isn't about the Executive Order 6102. There was another order that FDR declared a year later, which is the Executive Order 6814. FDR implemented the seizure of all silver situated in the continental United States with Executive Order 6814, requiring the delivery of all silver to the United States for coinage. Executive Order 6814 closely mirrors the Executive Order 6102, which FDR signed on April 5th, 1933, forbidding the hoarding of gold coin, gold bullion, and gold certificates within the continental United States, with some differences. A key difference was the EO 6814 excluded the seizure of all coins, whether foreign or domestic, while the EO 6102 only exempted from seizure certain types of collectible or numismatic coins. And I know what you're probably thinking, Silver Slayer, this was 90 years ago. Times have dramatically and drastically changed, but what if I told you something even crazier? Silver was banned in 1980. Why? The Hunt brothers drained the COMEX. The three brothers were billionaires, and they bought all the silver, some say up to 70% of the entire silver supply, probably not that much, but that gives you a nice picture, and they turned all those contracts into physical delivery. Do you think the government was going to allow that? No. So what did the government do? They pushed a law on the spot called Silver Rule 7. When I talk about silver being banned or confiscated, it's not as crazy as you think. This has happened throughout history. Well, gold confiscation in times of war or economic uncertainty, since gold represents money, and if a country is broke or if that country needs backed by something of real value, of course, gold is the standard. But silver's a little different and even more extreme than for gold. Why? Well, if you watched my video yesterday, which I highly recommend, the military raided U.S. stockpiles in order to save the planet. They need silver to go green, but there isn't enough silver to go green. Where are they going to get the silver from? Us? I mean, if they've asked people to turn in their gold and not asked them, they they made them turn in their gold or face terrible consequences. Well, why is that so crazy to say they wouldn't do that for silver and push the narrative, help us save the planet? We don't have enough silver to make solar panels and these electric vehicles and reach the goal of zero net emissions by the year 2050, because by the year 2050, solar panels would use all of the silver supply. Just solar panels, not talking EVs or 5G towers or anything else. What about silver being banned? That could push the same narrative, that could fit the same exact situation and help them. Is it that crazy? Is it truly that crazy? We're living in crazy times, so expect crazy things to happen. I also used that same sentence with we're living in crazy times, so expect crazy prices. If you watch my channel, you already know that the silver shortage is real. If you guys don't believe me, go check out my video I posted yesterday. The military raiding silver stockpiles by the U.S. for energy reasons already gives that point. That speaks for itself. But it is extremely, extremely severe. Record-breaking supply deficits this year. But I'll shut up. I will read the rest of this article because right here is very interesting. There's a document titled Hoarders of Silver, which is a letter from the Secretary of the Treasury. But first, I want to get an idea of what exactly is this Executive Order 6814. The Roosevelt administration's Executive Order 6814 was an effective nationalization of all domestically mined silver and privately owned silver bullion. Exceptions included circulating silver and foreign silver coins and a few other items, right? They don't want to melt down actual money. All other privately owned silver bullion stocks were mandated to be turned into U.S. mint locations and purchased by the government for 50 cents. Domestically mined silver was purchased at a premium of 64 cents an ounce. Within Executive Order 6814's 90-day mandated deadline, some 109 million ounces of silver had been delivered to the U.S. Treasury. Another 4 million ounces trickled in before the order was resigned in 1938. Wow. So once they pushed that order, declared everyone to turn in their silver, they got 109 million ounces. I wonder what that number would be today if the same exact order was pushed. So how did the U.S. government enforce the silver nationalization under Executive Order 6814? The same threat of a $10,000 fine, about $500,000 in today's money, combined with the warning of a possible 10 years imprisonment used in Executive Order 6102, which was also utilized in Executive Order 6814. So if you didn't listen, you had to pay the same consequences as Executive Order 6102, which is insane. In 1934, the U.S. government compiled a list of the largest silver bullion owners at the time, entitled Hoarders of Silver, which mostly comprised of the largest COMEX silver traders before the executive order went into effect in August later that year. Those individuals or companies owning less than 50,000 ounces of silver were left off the list, likely due to the exhaustive effort required to obtain the names of so many small silver holders in wider detail. So this is that document. Oh, what's up, David Morgan? Friend of mine. I did an interview with him on my channel if you guys want to check that out. But it says, in further response to Senate Resolution number 211, a list of possible holders of spot silver and futures contract silver as of January 31st, 1934. So it also says down here, April 26th, 1934, the committee's banking and currency and ordered to be printed. It's kind of hard to read, but how did the gold and silver nationalizations differ? Each executive order required the delivery of virtually all gold and some silver to the government. Both executive orders had exceptions for jewelry, art, and even an exemption for highly rare silver and gold collector coins, not commonly high mintage gold or silver semi-numismatic coins. In 1933, gold executive order removed gold coin as money from U.S. citizens' hands, as virtually all gold coins in value over $100 were required to be delivered to the government, as no further U.S. gold coins would be issued by the United States for monetary circulation. Obviously, we know what that was. In 1934, silver executive order specifically excluded nationalizing U.S. circulating 90% silver coins, which is silver dimes, quarters, half dollars, silver dollar coins, even foreign silver coinage. A major intent of the 1934 nationalization was to call in idle silver bullion holdings and domestic silver mine deposits in order to strike and make more 90% silver coins for monetary circulation, thus requiring the then circulating 90% silver coinage to be turned in and would have been counterproductive. The private U.S. citizens and companies who turned in their silver bullion got a better deal than those who turned in their gold. That's interesting. So for nationalized gold holdings, the government paid $20.60 per troy ounce in 1933. Later in 1934, the U.S. government revalued the price of gold higher to $35 an ounce, resulting in a near 70% devaluation of the U.S. dollar to the gold price over this small time frame. Another quick fact, when FDR got in office, he changed the gold to silver ratio from 16 to 1 to 75 to 1 basically overnight. Previously, for thousands of years, the ratio was 16 to 1. Sorry. Even before that, it was 8 to 1 because that's the ratio it comes out of the ground. Even before that, in ancient biblical times, it was 2.5 to 1. 2.5 parts silver equals 1 part gold. And that was back when silver was magical to them. They thought silver was some magical element, and it is. Why? It can purify water. Silver has antimicrobial properties. It can purify water. You put silver in milk, keeps the milk fresh longer. It responds to other elements like no other metal. It's the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity, electricity, and light sensitivity, and nothing else is as important, as crucial, and as scarce as silver. So for nationalized silver holdings, the U.S. government paid 50 cents per troy ounce in 1934. It would take until early 1951 for U.S. dollars to devalue some 70% against the silver price, some 17 years or so. So this is extremely interesting, folks. I never took a deep dive into Executive Order 6814. Like I said, Executive Order 6102 is the popular one that everyone knows about. But as a silver stacking channel, and for the silver stacking community, 6814 is more up our alley, especially since they have the same consequences. That's one thing I didn't know, was that the same consequences, $10,000 fine, 10 years imprisonment, or both, was pushed for both of those executive orders. Very interesting stuff. I want to pass the question to you. Do you think this could happen again? How likely? 50% likely? 80%? 20%? I also want to ask you, did you guys know about Executive Order 6814? Or did you only know about 6102? Sure, a lot of you didn't even know about this second one that was declared a year later. So anyways, folks, we're going to wrap this video up here real quick. If you guys did want to purchase some silver or gold or platinum or palladium, I have some deals for you. Our silver deal this week is half-ounce Canadian polar bears, $2.75 over spot while supplies last. We also have a 1-ounce platinum maple leaf, which is a random date, only $80 over spot. And my favorite deal this week, and I have some of these, are the 10th ounce gold 2023 Philharmonics, which is only $30 over melt. We have new deals every Monday. All you have to do is send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. Let them know Silver Slayer sent you. They have everything. Anything you could possibly think of, they probably have it. Just ask for a price sheet. You probably heard of Miles Franklin because they are the company that filled that $50 million order from that billionaire in Texas, the biggest silver purchase ever known to date so far. They filled that order. Andy Sheckman filled that order in 2 days. Nobody else on this planet could fill that order in 2 days. I guarantee you. Andy has connections like nobody else. You've probably seen him on Kitco News or on the Rich Dad channel or, anywhere. He's everywhere right now. And he's a very respected guy, and it's a very respected company. So, yeah, info@milesfranklin.com. Let him know Slayer sent you. I'm also doing a giveaway right now as we approach 100,000 subscribers. Links in the description. Like always, may the luckiest stacker win. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you share this video. It's very important for the community, silver community, to know this order exists. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I will see you guys soon. Tomorrow, actually. Peace.